Hello everybody and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to talk about how to build your Pro Suite Gold workspace when you do not have templates provided for your product. At this time of recording we are providing templates for only two markets, the ES as well as the CL futures markets. In the future, we may add from time to time other templates, but here this video is about how you're going to build your workspace without any templates. And for this video, I'm going to use the Euro currency futures, which have no template provided at this time, to show you how to do it. And all the steps I'm going to be using are exactly the same for all markets without any template provided. So first of all, you will have to create your workspace. From the NinjaTrader Control Center, you go to the workspaces, and right at the bottom right, we have a new button here. I'm going to click on this. You're going to see this little window appearing, and they ask for you to enter the name for your new workspace. So in my case here, I'm going to just give it the name Pro Suite Gold Euro currency. And I'm going to put testing because I will delete that workspace after this video. I don't need it. It is just to show you how to do it. So you give your name. Usually you can use Pro Suite Gold dash and the symbol of your product. That would be fine. And you click on OK. So you can see if we click under the workspaces, from the tool menu at the top, you can see that the active workspace right now is just Pro Suite Gold EC testing that I just created, and it is empty as of now. And we're going to build the charts that we need to trade with Pro Suite Gold. So the first chart we're going to create will be the market profile chart. And we're going to click on New from the NinjaTrader Control Center menu, Chart. Here we're going to select the Euro currency, which will be the 6E here symbol. And even if we do not have templates, I'm going to show you how to create the charts faster using another template. And I will use here the CL template for the Euro currency, and I'm going to show you how to do changes after that to really build it for the Euro currency market. So we have to look at three properties only, and it's going to be the type. It has to be under minute. The value has to be set to 30 because market profile are 30 minutes chart. And days to load, I'm using 25. This is the lowest days to load, the lowest number of days to load suggested, and you can put more, but 25 is a good compromise between loading time and the number of days I need. to see the references line that I need to trade. From time to time, I may go higher if I need more markets to see important references from the past, but usually I'm using 25. Okay, and from the top here, we're gonna add a template that has been put on your PC when you downloaded your product automatically. And we have two kind of templates, one for CL and one for ES at this time. So like I said, we're going to use the CL templates for the euro currency, and we're going to do minor changes after that. So we're going to choose the CL Pro Suite Gold market profile, and we're going to click on OK. And here I'm going to just enlarge the chart a little bit here. And as you can see here, the first thing you're going to notice is that you're going to see the price axis is set for the crude oil, because this is the crude oil templates. So you just have to click on the F to adjust the price scale to your market. And in this example, it is the euro currency. Now we're going to have to do a few changes, and it's going to be the same changes for all the chart. You're going to right click on your chart, and you're going to go to the data series. Under that window, you're going to see that the trading hours has been set for the NYMEX Energy RTH, which is not good as we are trading the euro currency. So we're going to change the trading hours to, and I have created my own trading hours for the euro currency. It's pretty easy. I have recorded videos about how to do that for your own market if you wish to. And I called it the Dalton Currency Chicago session. So I'm going to click on OK. And now the hours is set for the euro currency. Now we're going to right click once more. We're going to go through the indicator setting window. And under that, we have a energy template under the overnight session template name. Again, here I have created an overnight session template trading hours for the euro currency that I called the Dalton Currencies overnight session. So here you have to put your overnight session for your market. Again, if there's none, you will have to create one. But like I said, I have recorded a video about that. It's pretty easy. And the video, by the way, is under this video 2 button from the market profile chart. So we have to do that change there. We also have to change under the data manager here the trading hours, but here it is not related to the overnight session, but the pit session. So it is a Dalton Currency Chicago session, my pit session that I have created for the euro currency. And that's it. There's NYMEX energy, but we do not have loaded alternate volume source. So you can leave it this way. Again, I have recorded a video how to create your alternate volume source symbol. And that's about it. You do not have any other changes to do. And you click on OK. And now it has been really set for the euro currency. Now, we're going to go through the properties window. And from that window here, we're going to have to change a few things. If we go to the structure, for example, here you have a few things that have been obviously have been set for the crude oil market, like the minimum halfback thick needed to draw the halfback line. It is 8 ticks. It's all about ticks here. It's 8 ticks for crude oil, so you may have to change that for your home market. Same thing for the poor extreme max tick, which is the number of ticks, of single print ticks that you need at maximum to be considered as a poor high or a poor low. The number of TPOs to be considered as prominent for the POC. Again, these three properties will have to be set for your home market. The tail min ticks here, which is the number of ticks at minimum you need to be considered as a buying or a selling tail, and the number of TPOs at the POC to be considered as a very prominent POC. Under the weak references, you may have here to change the reactive tick for the weak reference. For crude oil, it was 8. The reactive ticks is the number of ticks that it has. Let's say, for example, that we have the overnight low here. So to be considered as a weak reference, if the market is trading above, it could be as a support. It could be considered as a support if we trade down to that level. And this is at that level, or the number of tick set here under the weak reference ticks. Here it is 1, so 1 tick above or right at the overnight low. If the market trade down to that and bounce back up, it will be considered as a buying weak reference. This is what the weak reference tick is all about, the number of ticks from the reference it has to trade to be considered as a weak reference. Now, the reactive ticks is when you had there, let's say that we trade to the overnight low, but we trade through the overnight low. How many ticks lower do we need to trade before now consider the overnight low as a possible resistance level on the upside? So this is what the reactive ticks is. So these weak reference properties here could be different for your markets, so you will have to maybe change these numbers. So under to summarize, under the structure tab, you may have to change here the minimum halfback tick, the poor extreme maximum tick, the number of TPOs at the POC to be considered prominent, the minimum ticks you need for a buying or selling tail, and the number of TPOs at the POC to be considered as a very prominent POC, and these 2 week reference properties, reactive ticks and weak reference tick. Now here under the display tab, you may have to change under the configuration category the decimals property here. As a matter of fact, here we have 5 decimals. So here I would have to change that to 5 for the euro currency. So it could be different for your own market. Most of the markets have 2 decimal, but you may have to change it if it is different for the market that you want to trade. The scaling here, it's related to the volatility of the market. If it's too volatile and the compression is set at 1, you know you're going to have block profile instead of ladders. So here you will have to play with these 2 levels, scaling factor, these 2 properties, sorry, the scaling factor and the X scaling factors to fit your home market. But usually 20 on both works for pretty much every market. Now maybe the last property you may consider to change for your home market is under the day tab in the reference settings category here. This is the ticks through tolerance, which is by default set to 1. So for support reference here, how many ticks do we have to trade through to nullify this reference as a good support if the market is trading higher and then the reference line, and the single print minimum required TPOs. So this is the number of single print letters that you need in order to consider this area as support or resistance. By default, it is set to 20 for crude oil. It may be different for your own markets. So that's all the properties you may have to play with, to really fit with your home market. Now we're gonna minimize that, and we're gonna create the next chart, which will be the daily, weekly, and monthly chart. So new chart. Here we're gonna choose again the euro currency. Here we are creating the daily chart. So under the type, we're gonna choose day session. I'm gonna leave the value at 1, and the days to load I like to load for the day chart is 100 day. And from the template, we're gonna load the CL Pro Suite Gold Day chart, and we're gonna click on OK. Again, we're gonna have to do the same thing here. We have the price scale set for the crude oil. We click on the little F letter there to adjust the scale for our market. And same thing as before, we right click on the chart, we go to the data series, and here we're going to change the trading hours to the pit session of our home market. In my case here, this is the I called it the Dalton currency Chicago session, and I'm going to click on OK. Here we are. And here on the day chart, we have 4 indicators that are being applied to the chart. So under the balance builder, we will have to maybe change one property, which is going to be the decimal here under the display setting category. Here it is 5 for my euro currency. Under the profile builder indicator, we will change here the trading hours name under the data manager category, again to the pit session for our own market, Dalton currency Chicago session. And we will also have to change the decimal. It should be under, no, we do not have to change the decimal there. So only one thing to change the trading hours for the profile builder under the structural analyzer indicator. Here we will have to change maybe the decimals for your home market. I'm gonna put 5 for mine there, and obviously you're gonna have the poor extreme ticks, the tail ticks. These two properties could be also different for your own market. These are the same setting as under the property that we've seen a few minutes ago. And on the reference synchronizer, here if we scroll down to the data manager, we're going to have to change the trading hours name to our pit session trading hours for our home market. So it is Chicago session, Dalton currencies for me. Under the display here, we have the decimal that you may have to change for your home market. And that's about it. No more other changes for this indicator. So we're going to click on OK, and everything is set perfectly for your home market. Now we're going to add the weekly and the monthly chart to the same chart window to gain screen space. So to do that, we're going to click on the plus button right at the bottom left of your chart. We're going to add euro currency. For the weekly chart, we're going to change the type to week day session. We're going to leave the value at 1, and the days to load for the weekly chart that I like to use is 365 days. Now we're going to apply the template for the CL Pro Suite Gold weekly chart, and we're going to click on OK. Same thing as before, we're going to click on the little F here to adjust the price scale. And now we're going to right click on your chart, go to the data series from the contextual menu. And here again, we're going to have to change the trading hours to the pit session of our home market. And I'm going to click on OK. Now we're going to right click, go to the indicators from the contextual menu. And here for the weekly chart, we have 3 indicators. So under the balance builder, we have only one property to maybe changing, and it is the decimal under the display setting. So I'm going to put 5 for my currency futures market here. And I didn't mention it on the daily chart, but another property from the balance builder indicator that you may have to change is the maximum balance height in ticks under the configuration category. This is the number of ticks that you want at the maximum that you want your balance to be applied. Anything above that height will be just ignore. So this is done to avoid, very huge balance that really doesn't serve very well for trading. So maybe here under the balance builder, you may have to change here this setting. Now for the profile builder for the weekly chart, we do not have to change trading hours because we do not have any here for the weekly chart. So we have nothing to change really for the weekly and the monthly chart for the profile builder. Under the structural analyzer, again, the poor extreme ticks and the tail ticks would have to be the same as the one that you have set from the properties window. If you have modified those properties, and under the display settings here, decimal, you may have to change that property too, and that's it. And we're gonna hand now the weekly chart, same process. From the bottom left, I'm gonna click on the plus, I'm gonna select the euro currency, and I'm gonna change the type to month, day session. The value is 1. And for the monthly chart, I like to load 1800 days. That is fine for me. It may be different for you. It is just a suggestion, but I like 1800 days for the monthly chart. I'm going to apply the CL Pro Suite Gold monthly chart template. Same thing as before. I'm going to click on the F here to get the right price scale for my market. I'm going to right click on the chart, go to the data series, and I will change the trading hours to my own pit session for my own market. I'm going to click on OK. And now I'm going to right click on the chart indicators from the contextual menu. And the same thing as the weekly chart. For the monthly, we have 3 indicators. For the balance builder, you're going to have to maybe modify the maximum balance height in ticks. It depends of your market. And under the display settings, you may have to adjust the decimal property. Now for the profile builder, we have nothing to adjust there. And for the structural analyzer, again, the poor extreme eye and the tail ticks may have to be adjusted. And under the display setting, the decimal property may have to be adjusted also. And you click on OK, and we're done for the daily, the weekly, and the monthly charts. We can now minimize that. We have two more charts now to go, and we're going to create the first one, new chart. We're going to choose the euro currency. Here under the type, we're going to choose minute. Under value, we're going to choose 1 because this is a very short-term chart that's going to help us for a trade location. And we're going to apply the flow analyzer to that chart. And under the days to load, I like to use 1 or 3. If you use 1, maybe on weekends, you will see nothing because the NinjaTrader is using calendar days and not trading days. But I put 1, but if you want to look at your charts for the flow analyzer on the weekend, you may have to change that to 3 to see the chart. So minute 1 and 1, and under the template, I'm gonna just apply the CL Pro Suite Gold Flow Analyzer 1 minute only pit session, and I'm gonna click on OK. I'm gonna bring the chart into view. Same process as before. I'm clicking on OK to adjust the price scale. We right click on the chart. We go to the data series. I'm going to change the trading hours to the pit session trading hours for our own market. I'm going to click on OK. And now we right click on the chart indicators. And here we have 2 indicators, the flow analyzer, which is the first one. Here, a number that you may have to change is the volatility. This is the number of ticks that you want to see the swings. So the flow analyzer is based on swings of the market. For crude oil, on the 1 minute chart, I have set the volatility to 10, so minimum 10 ticks to create a new swing. So you may have to change it for your own market there. The main session start time, which is the pit session. So at what time does your pit session start, or your day session if you wish, as we do not have we do not have pit session anymore. It's more day session, but this is the starting time here for the day session, and all the other ones are fine. Now we go to the reference synchronizer. And again, we scroll down, and we're going to have to change under the data manager category the trading hours name, which is our pit session trading hours for our home market. It is the Chicago session for me. And under the display category, we're going to have to maybe change the decimal for your market. It is 5 for FX market here, and that's about it for the references synchronizer. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna click on OK, and we're going to minimize the chart. One more chart to go and we're done. So we're going to click on New Chart, and I'm going to bring the window there. And here we're going to select again our instrument, Euro currency. It is still a 1 minute chart because we will apply now the flow analyzer to not only the pit session but both session, the day and night session. The days to load will be set also to 1 or 3 as you wish. And we're going to apply the template for the CL Pro Suite Gold Flow Analyzer 1 minute day and night session. And we're going to click on OK. So I think that you know what we're going to do now. We click on the F, right click on the chart, data series, and we're going to change trading hours here to a trading hours that include both session. So if you need to create your trading session for your home market, I have recorded the video how to do that. It is really simple. So in my example here, I have created the day and night session for the currency that I call the Dalton Currencies Day and Night session. So this is the session I'm going to apply there. And now we're going to right click indicators, and under the flow analyzer, I may have to change here the volatility number, which should be the same as the one with the pit session. Swings are swings, right? And the main session start time, same thing. This is the start time for your day session, not the overnight, the day session. Very important. And other than that, we have nothing else to change. Obviously, this is not a video about explaining this indicator. I have recorded other videos for that. Just looking to set up our workspace here in that video. So now under the reference synchronizer indicator, we will have to go down, scroll down to the data manager category. We're going to change the trading hours now to the pit session, only trading hours here for our market. So I'm going to choose here my pit session, which is called Dalton Currency Chicago session. And you obviously may have to change the decimals property from the display category for that indicator, and we are done. We're gonna click on OK, and we can minimize the chart, and our workspace have been created. We have all the charts that we need now. So now I'm going to show you how I just display all these charts on my big screen for trading. So here the display that I like the most, that I'm using in my trading every day. On the left here, I have the market profile, which takes maybe 25 or a little bit more than the space the screen space. Sorry. On the top center here, I have the only pit session 1 minute flow analyzer chart. On the center bottom, I have the 1 minute day and night session flow analyzer chart. On the right, I have the day chart, which also include the weekly and the monthly on the same chart window. And I have created
Connection lost.
a basic entry window from NinjaTrader that I put at the bottom right, which allow me to trade from this workspace. So I have a lot of I like this workspace display because I have a lot of information all in front of my eyes from different time frames, from obviously the daily, the short term for trade location, uh, my market profile chart on the left, which allow me to analyze the contextual factors and look at the what I want to do with the market.
Connection lost.
I'm sorry for that. It's 5:52 and happens very often at night that I'm losing a connection and getting connection back. I don't know what it is. It's not related to the indicators. Don't worry. So that's how I like to see my trading screen. Now it's up to you. You can arrange, your charts differently according to your um, how you would like to see the market. Um, so that's about it. That was a little bit of work because we do not have template with euro currency, and this is a video about all markets that we do not provide template. So it's a little bit of work, but once it's done, and you just go to your workspace here and just be sure that you save it. You can save it there, or in closing your workspace, you're gonna have a message asking you to, if you want to save the workspace. Obviously, you always save your workspace, so you can just open your workspace on the next day, and you're ready to trade. So that's it for this video. I thank you very much for watching it, and good trading.